welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is ANZA-T and I am welcoming you to this video. We are making a very simple recipe. It's a scone recipe, Scones. We are officially in the festive season, and what better way to start but to start with a scone recipe, fluffy Amasi Amasi scones. So this particular recipe I previously developed it 2 years ago, but I have taken my time to strip away some unnecessary ingredients to make this recipe even much more simpler for your convenience, and that you can quickly whip up some scones for the festive season. It's almost Christmas, and I hope you'll be serving these scones on that Christmas morning. Let's get started. Let's get started with the video. I'll also try and answer some popularly asked questions from my previous viral video with 500,000 views from making scones. Try answer some questions as I go along to better help you understand how to get the perfect scones, perfect results. Let's get started. So we're going to start off by mixing the wet ingredients into one bowl. One popularly asked question is that why do I refrigerate the scones after I've mixed the dough? This is just to let the dough rest a little bit, firm up the fat content inside your dough mixture. This will allow your scones to rise much better, keep shape, become airier, and much more softer. If you somehow overmixed your scones, it will also help just relax those gluten strands so that you don't have bready like scones or hard scones, but a much more softer consistency of scones. I'll also be listing all the ingredients you see I'm mixing here in the description box. You just need to follow the process and what we are doing here. So I'm just mixing the 3 eggs with 1 cup of sugar to get the sugar nicely dissolved. And then moving on to the next question that is also popularly asked is why I use Amasi for the best soft scones. So Amasi is slightly acidic because of the lactic acid in it, and that allows it to neutralize the rising agents like baking powder, baking soda. They're on different sides of the pH scale. This also then leads to a perfect rise, and it will also make your scones nice and tasty because you won't taste the rising agent, that bitter aftertaste you get from bicarbonate of soda or from baking powder. You won't get it from this type of scones. And then another question was, why self-raising flour? Self-raising flour is just easy. You don't have to add any extra rising agents. They are already added for you, so it's shorter, quicker steps. So let's say you had cake wheat flour and now you had to add your own rising agent like baking powder. I suggest you add 1 teaspoon per cup of flour of baking powder. I always get that question, like how much baking powder must I add to my scones if I'm using cake wheat flour or plain flour? I suggest you add 1 teaspoon per cup of flour that you use. So if you're using 4 cups of flour, add 4 teaspoons, not too heaped, because baking powder, you can taste it and then it's bad. So now that we're done with the wet ingredients, added the Amasi, the vanilla and everything, we are moving on to the dry ingredients, which start by sifting the flour. Why sift flour? I actually got this suggestion from you guys. It actually helps you remove any lumps, softer scones, or anything that had entered your flour. So this suggestion was the best suggestion I ever got from the video I previously got. Grate your margarine. Since your margarine or your fat content you are adding to your flour is sort of like
cold, it will be very easy to grate it, and thus it will be easy to mix into your flour. You won't have to overwork your flour. So once you're done with the wet and the dry, you just mix, and you need to be careful not to overwork it. We're not mixing bread, we're not kneading, we just mix slightly and nicely until each and everything is incorporated. But don't worry, remember that step of us freezing putting them in the freezer. It also compensates if you overmixed as well. If you watched the previous video, you know that we used fresh cream, we used bicarbonate of soda, we used egg yellow. So what's good about this new developed recipe is that we removed all that stuff, so it will be fewer ingredients for you. So once your dough has been chilled in the fridge, you now just flour a surface, spread it out a little bit with your hands, a little flour on your hands so that it doesn't stick. Cut it up, and then we're going to be laying this on a tray. We bake them at 180 degrees for about 40 minutes. I always say ovens are different. So the first tray is your trial tray. That's the tray you watch to see how your oven is working. That's the tray you watch to see if I need to increase, reduce my heat, if it's burning up and the recipe said put 180 degrees, you need to reduce that. Don't be very stringent on the suggestions that people make while baking. So always watch your first tray closely to see how your oven is working and all that type of jazz. So I had reserved some of my wet mixture to brush on. I just added a little bit of fresh milk to make it smoother, just a little bit, just to brush on top of your scones to give them a nice golden or brown color on top. You pop them in the oven, you bake them, and then they are ready to enjoy. Look at that fluffiness, that amazingness, deliciousness, softness of scones you have going on there. Please remember to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Also ask questions in the comment section. I always try and answer all of your questions. Bye.